Stella. We're here for T3G and welcome to another Tech Monday. Today we are talking about the Remix Mini Android desktop. As you just saw in some of the pans and some of the quick looks, the hardware is very tiny itself, but we are looking at what is essentially an Android desktop experience. I've got just a little testing mouse connected to it, and I've actually got a Corsair keyboard hooked up to it. That's just a matter of happenstance. This is going to be the station where Hottest is going to be hanging out when he's over at my place. That's really the only additional hardware that's connected besides obviously the HDMI cable to the TV. Now, all in all, this does basically look like an Android desktop. The reason I'm not screen grabbing this and I am actually recording it through the camera is because the power on this thing is sort of disappointing when it comes to multitasking. So with something as graphically intensive as screen capture, this was not going to be the optimal solution. And then we're just going to be recording the screen as I use it. I want to talk about the few things that I really enjoy about the entire experience. First, you've got kind of a start menu, app menu, whatever you want to call it. It is essentially the app drawer for Android, but it does give you some more options that you don't get on normal Android devices like tablets or phones. For instance, you've got a power button that gives you your standby, restart, and shutdown options. You've got quick access, because of course you have a mouse, to things like resorting options, so you can go by name, date, install, or usage. Then on the bottom, we've got the standard kind of taskbar that you would see in Windows or Mac OS, anything like that. On the far right, you've got your Android notifications, and that's actually going to work just like the Mac OS or Windows notifications do now. You've got your location options. You can actually toggle on your location, your alarms. You can toggle on your do not disturb location. You can auto hide the taskbar, which kind of gives you a nice full screen experience. I'm going to opt to not do that. And then you've got your screenshot option and then your settings button, which you can access from there, from the desktop if you have the desktop icon enabled, and of course the app drawer. You've got a clear all button, which is nice because again, it is basically just like it is on every Android device. And then moving from the right, you've got date and time, which actually if you click on, it shows you kind of a mini calendar. Then you've got your Wi-Fi settings. You can toggle on and off. You can join a network. Then you've got your input settings, so you can choose what kind of keyboard you want to be working with. Of course, I've got mine set to English, but you can have Japanese is actually by default installed. You can of course install anything available in the Play Store. Next, you've got volume settings, which is pretty straightforward, up and down. Now, this can be controlled by simple media controls if you have them on your keyboard. In my case, because this is kind of a fancier keyboard, for some reason, this changes the alarm volume only. I'm not really sure why. Then you've got your Bluetooth settings. Again, same thing. You can toggle on and off. You can pair new devices. And then you've got something which is kind of a debated subject in the Android world, but it's got a memory cleanup option, and that just kind of wipes out background apps that are still running, theoretically freeing up some processing power and some RAM. Now, there is one icon that I didn't mention earlier, and that is the home icon. So when you are in an app, if you are, let's say you're in full screen, let's open up VLC. I don't think I actually have anything to play, but if we go full screen in VLC, you could hit home and that's just going to take you back to this home screen. So that's really nice because you don't have, a physical button that you would on an Android device like a phone, but you still have that home button so you can go back to the home screen. Now, overall, what I can say about the performance, it is a bit lacking, I'll be honest with you. This is something that I think would be great as a student device, something that you could give kids that would be low cost and it would be fairly well featured. Of course, you have the Google Play Store, so pretty much anything from there will work. Some things are going to display weird, but for the most part, things are going to be able to run as usual. Now, as far as the desktop itself goes, there are a few other things that are more computer oriented than they are visible on most Android devices. You've got a file manager, you've got a trash bin icon. The trash is in the file system, so we're just gonna look at the file manager. You've got really what you would expect to see in a file manager, just like you would in Finder on Mac or Windows Explorer in Windows. You've got documents, pictures, music, movies, downloads, desktop. And the desktop is apparently a folder within the system, so just like it is on both of those other systems. You've got internal storage, so that actually shows you what your breakdown is. So that's the hard drive itself, hard drive. You've got your trash folder, and then you've got settings, which is actually the settings for the file manager. In this case, you can show and hide files and directories, or hidden files and directories. You can show and hide specific folders, and then it also gives you your storage breakdown. So that's really nice to have kind of all in one space, and you don't have to kind of go out of your way to get that information. Now, as you saw, the basic stuff, things like VLC, pretty straightforward. It's going to function just like it would on any Android device. I've got Plex, I've got photos set up, Sheets, all the basics really work the same way. Now, the only things I've found that are kind of bothersome are in things like YouTube. In YouTube itself, you get a lot of white screen, and that bothers me really. So in YouTube and some apps like it, you end up getting what is a lot of white space, in my opinion. So for instance, if we go into one of my favorite new channels, Junkball Media, that I found, we're gonna pause that. You get this kind of tablet style layout. I call it tablet style because this is what I've seen on tablets. The problem that comes up for me in this view, and that's if you're in this specific view, if I want to comment on something, I have to scroll down the list of suggested videos. Now granted, with a mouse that is going to be easier, but still kind of annoying to have to scroll down through all of these suggested videos to then be able to comment. I think that's kind of dumb, but that's just kind of a personal pet peeve. But at the end of the day, what I really wanted to talk about was the potential for using Android desktops as a remote environment. Somebody brought this up on the video for the MirrorBook, and I think I was looking at the MirrorBook as kind of them saying that you should only have this device and not have other computers. And somebody brought up that you could use that as a way to access your other device. So if you have a computer set up at home, but you're on the go and you're in meetings or whatever, you can pull that up through something like a TeamViewer or other means. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to test that. I wanted to see how functional that was. I've got my stealth build behind me, and we're just gonna crack that open. I've got my TeamViewer. We're gonna log in real quick, and let's just see what it does here. Yeah, totally, touch controls. As far as I'm concerned, besides obviously there being two screens on that, and this is only one screen, this is kind of nice. Having essentially what is a full desktop view of everything, not gonna lie, it's pretty convenient. So if I open up an Edge browser there, and this is, again, on the computer behind me, I can type directly, T3G, boom, look at that, t3g.media. Check out the website. We just did a little redesign, just a little spice up on the website. It actually does work pretty well. It's a little laggy, and I think that's going to depend on the device. So what we do have is a quad-core ARM Cortex-A53 at 1.34 gigahertz, and we do have 2 gigs of RAM. So this is really kind of a low-end device, realistically speaking. We're not going to run Overwatch through the stream, but there are higher capacity devices. And then to go back to the point we were making last week, if you are going to connect one of these to something like a MirrorBook, with the MirrorBook, you're limited only by the power here. I just upgraded. I've got a Pixel 2 XL now. This is way more powerful than this ever will be. Their newer device is a set-top box, but it is a 4 gig, 32 gig NuGet powered device, so theoretically it should be a little more powerful. It's just it's a shame that there wasn't an option for this at the time of the Remix Mini coming out. Now we've got Angry Birds almost downloaded, and then we're gonna give it a whirl. Now this is Angry Birds Star Wars. I'm not really sure. I don't think I've played this at all. No, not too terrible. See, now that we're not on the home screen, the volume buttons do control the volume. Very strange. I'm not really sure. Now, to be fair, this is a TV, but still not terrible. Boom, quick, 1, 2, filthy lies, we're doing it again, 20, boom, 32,880, that better get me the 3 stars, 2, 3 stars, that's what I thought. All right, we're gonna stop this because I'm liable to get real involved into some Angry Birds. All right, that's it for this one, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching. If you are not a member of the family yet, make sure you subscribe. Check out t3g.media. We did a little sprucing up. It's a little nicer, I think. We're going to be introducing some new content as well soon. Also, check out our podcast, now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. It's the Tangents Podcast. Also, check out the Tangents channel if you want to see some of our other reviews and talks and other sorts of more pop culture type of things. Make sure you hit that like button if you did enjoy the video. Share it if you are so inclined, and we'll see you in the next Tech Monday. Thanks again for watching.